What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Writing the Game podcast with your gracious host, Keenan coming to you once again. And on today's podcast, I want to talk to you guys about how to write better product descriptions that drive sales. I'm going to give you guys some tips on what to do and what not to do. Okay? But before we get into that, I need you guys to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment. All right? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to comment. Let's get right into it. So, product descriptions. When it comes to product descriptions, there's some things you may want to keep in mind. First thing you need to understand is that a product description, first, it explains what a product is and why it is worth purchasing. Okay? Basically, the purpose of a good product description is to provide customers with the necessary information that they need regarding the features and the benefits of the product so that they are convinced to buy. Okay? So, when you are writing and trying to write really good product descriptions, the first thing you don't want to do is copy and paste the features from your manufacturer website into your product description. You don't want to do that, okay? Because it just looks boring and stale. It doesn't engage the customer. It doesn't really explain anything. It doesn't give them what they're needing. It doesn't even look like you took out the time to even consider them in that aspect. It almost comes off as if you are just trying to get some money. Now, the second thing you don't want to do is you don't want to write descriptions that only describe your products. It's just a plain description. It's just showing you just what the product is, and then that's it. You don't want to do that because then again, it looks cold. It makes your copy look cold, and it makes it look boring and uninteresting. Okay? So it's like, duh, everybody knows what the product do. I know that this is a shoe and I can walk in the rain in this shoe, So it's like you have to come a little bit better than that. And you don't want to put, you don't want to put too much focus on your product, okay? Putting too much focus on your product is not really conducive to helping you make that sale. What you want to do is put the focus on the customer and what they're getting out of the deal, okay? So not just focusing on the product and the features and the benefits, but what can this product do for you? How is this product solving the problem that you have, right? So if you are selling a shoe, but you're selling to a customer who, let's say you're selling work boots and you're selling to a construction customer, right? Typically, if they are a person who is familiar with that type of work, they're going to be familiar with that type of attire, right? And the type of shoes necessary for that type of job. But let's say that they complain about ankle support. They feel like, I have really good work boots, things like that, but I'm not getting enough ankle support. So you come out with a work boot that provides superior ankle support than any other work boot out there on the market. So when you are selling the product in your product description, you don't really want to sell just the features and the benefits and just focus on the product. You want to focus on the experience that the customer is going to have from your product. I'm going to say that again. You don't want to focus on the product. You want to focus on the experience that the customer is going to get from the product. What is the experience that they're looking to have? So if you're going to, why does this customer want good ankle support? To help maybe support their lower back, maybe to help relieve certain stress off of their ankles and their feet, because on the weekends maybe they play softball or baseball with their kids, so maybe they need they're looking to preserve that part of their body They're looking to reserve that part of the body throughout the week so they can have it for their kids on the weekend. So it's something like that. So you have to take that into consideration. You have to think outside of the box. You have to think outside of the paradigm. So you have to think outside of the box. All right. So the second thing, I'm going to get into some things that you guys could do to help improve your copy, to help give you that jaw-dropping, good copywriting in your product descriptions. So what you can do is that you want to make sure that your copy is clear and concise. Because when your copy is clear and concise, it helps the customer to remain clear on your goal, on what the product is going to do for them, which is the most important thing for them, right? You don't want to confuse your customer by giving them a long copy. You don't want to confuse your customer by giving them copy that's vague, okay? The next thing you want to do, you want to speak in your buyer's language, okay? Speak to your buyer. Don't speak at your buyer. Speak to your buyer. Speak in their language. Dialogue like you guys are just two friends sitting and reminiscing about old times. Okay, that's how you should speak to your audience. Speak as if you know them personally, and you want to appeal to their imagination. And you appeal to their imagination because this helps them to see themselves with the product. It helps them to see themselves with the product. Now, when you're writing your copy and you're trying to appeal to imagination, when you include certain words, like one of my other points is use sensory words. So when you include sensory words into your copy, that helps them to be able to, in their imagination, feel, see, touch, smell, taste the product, right? So when they're able to do that in their imagination, it's almost like doing the real thing in the physical, right? So that entices them and makes them want to buy even more. Now, when you are writing, you may want to include a short story to display the benefits and the advantages that the customer will get from your product, right? So the thing is about just giving out a bunch of facts or just telling what the features and the benefits could do. That's cool too. But if you want to be more convincing and more persuasive, understand that our brains are wired to learn through stories. Our brains are wired to be more receptive to stories and remember things through stories than just a cold hard fact, right? So when you're writing your product descriptions, you can include a short story which it gets the point across. It gets out to the customer the benefits and the features of the product, and it allows them to see themselves with the product, feeling the product, and actually having the product, right? And when you include a short story, not only does that give you a chance to persuade the customer, but you can use that as a way to break down their rational barriers. So when you include a short story and you're selling through a story, many times subconsciously people will not detect that they're being sold to because they're wrapped up in a story. And my last point, keep in mind that it's also good to be as specific as possible in your copy. Okay, you don't want to use vague words like world-class product, high quality product, excellent quality. When you use words such as, hey, many, over 150,000 people enjoyed this product in the last 3 months, and this happened. When you're able to give specifics, that makes people more inclined to buy as well because it doesn't come off as salesy. Okay? So keep in mind that in order to write really good product descriptions, keep the customer in mind, not the product. Okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on my social media, Instagram. The link is in the descriptions. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a lovely day.